Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So good to have you here on this gorgeous day, on this Pride Sunday, on this beginning of June Sunday. Great to have you with us today. My name is Joan Montagnes, and I have the honor and privilege of serving you, this congregation, as minister. We are in a Zoom worship webinar, which means we can't hear or see you. You can't hear or see each other, but you can hear and see our worship associates, Eve Holberg and Lindsay Brandon Hunter. And you'll also be able to see and hear our soprano soloist, Jessie Downs, and you can hear and see me. You'll also be able to chat with each other all the way through the service. We offer closed captioning. They should be visible at the bottom of your screen. If you find them distracting, you can look under that CC button in your toolbar and turn the subtitles off. You can also use that CC button and find a way of making the font larger if that would help you participate. I want to offer a big thank you to Josh Disick, who is our tech today. John Petroselli and Justin DeClean are our techs on other days. Karen Streech does all our visuals. Tracy Caspin is doing our play-by-play at the moment. And I want to thank all our music staff who help create our worship experiences every week. They are awesome. And now some announcements. And I just want to say there are a lot of announcements going to come up, but it's just proof in the pudding that we are the church of what's happening now. We got activities happening all the time. First of all, General Assembly registration is open. That's the General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. Delegates from all over the world come to participate in discussing what kind of a faith we are. Now, this is going to be online again this year, which makes it accessible and inexpensive. If you would like to be a delegate from our congregation, we've got a place for you, and we have scholarship funds, whether you would like to go as a delegate or not. So registration's open. Be great if you registered. Also, oh, if you want to be a delegate, just get in touch with me, please through the email, not in the chat, or I'll never see it. We have an auction coming up. Our summer auction is here, and it's full of lots of opportunities for fun and fellowship. The auction team is looking for donations, dinners, events, culinary treats, book discussions, tours, services, music, artwork, whatever you've got going on, and all those lovely gifts that you have in your heart and soul and mind. It is the wonderful generosity of our members that make the auction possible. And if you've got any ideas, please contact Maria Testa and Julie Van Ort. The catalog will be out this month. And so bid early, bid often, bid high, because it all goes to a good cause. We are going to start having gatherings of multi-generational families, even if your family is a family of one, multi-generational families on the church lawn starting next week. Families are gathering for picnics in the church garden at 12:30 p.m. every Sunday. Bring a picnic blanket, maybe some chairs, your own lunch. There may be playtime, stories, games, activities. Masks are required except when eating on your blanket. At least one parent or guardian must be present per family, and the church will be open if restrooms are needed. Everyone is welcome to these informal gatherings on the lawn after church. I want to remind you that Flower Communion is coming up. Flower Communion is a high holiday in our church calendar. June 20. We're going to be online, but come to the church after the worship service at 12:30, between 12:30 and 2:30 on Sunday, June 20th, come to the church and receive a beautiful living plant for your garden, a symbol of our living faith for your home. And when you come to the church to get your flower, I urge you, entreat you, invite you to bring donations, piles of donations for Evergreen Health Services Food Bank. Think toiletries, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, feminine hygiene products, all those goodies. Think non-perishable grocery items, top ramen, canned foods, mac and cheese. So that's June 20th. Bring stuff. Then there's the Vespers services that happen every single Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Come for community, music, candlelight, poetry, and meditation. This week, our musician is Rick Strauss. He's a guitarist and jazz musician. We have fellowship time after this service. It's another Zoom meeting, but it's one where you can hear and see each other and talk to each other. That address for that meeting is in the chat, in the e-blast, in the newsletter, and on the last slide of this worship service. And really now is the special announcement, a special announcement from Jessie Downs.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jessie Downs, your soprano soloist and section leader. I'm here to tell you or to remind you that my new opera, The Second Sight, will be premiering at our church in just 3 weeks' time. The world premiere will be on Saturday, June 26th at 7 p.m., followed by a matinee performance on Sunday, June 27th at 2 p.m., both in our sanctuary. Because seating will be limited, I highly recommend you purchase your tickets in advance, which you can do at the link posted in the chat below. However, we will also be selling tickets at the door so long as we don't sell out. If you would like to further support the event, my organization Sotto Voce is also accepting tax-deductible donations to help cover all the costs of this monumental undertaking, and information about how to give will also be linked in the chat. We are also looking for volunteers to help with a variety of tasks during production, so if you're interested in donating your time, please reach out to choir president Phil Nicolai. And if you can't wait 3 weeks to hear some exciting live music, I will also be presenting a lecture recital preview of the opera next Saturday, June 12th at 10:30 a.m. at the Tacoma Performing Arts Center. This event will feature performances both of traditional operatic repertoire and new pieces from my opera, with explanations about how my operatic performance background informs my composing. I will be performing alongside our pianist, Jonathan Vogtel, who has also been helping with preparations for the opera itself, congregation member Beth White, who will be playing the role of the water spirit in the opera, and UUCB choir extended family member, UB's director of choirs, Claudia Brown, who will be playing the role of Freyaria. I hope to see you at the opera and perhaps also at the recital.
Good morning. Join me in reciting what happened here. Join me in reciting our chalice lighting words, video or not. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world.
Our first reading, sorry, there's a dog right here. Get down. Our first reading is Let Us Sing a Song to the Eternal by Eric Williams. Let us sing a song to the eternal. Let the earth and her children break forth in song. Let the sky and its creatures in chorus reply. Let the sea and all that is within it sound out praise. Let the storms raise their voices, the rivers clap their hands, and the mountains echo a verse from their rocky peaks. May we who are gathered here this morning sing with great rejoicing so that we can fulfill our part in the great choir of all creation. Our call to worship is hymn number 1000, Morning Has Come.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
The world is always turning toward dawn, and although night can be long and each day bring a brand new sunrise, but where does that sunrise begin? Some says it begins at the mountain, so high above the earth that you can see the sunrise there before it touches the rivers or lakes or forests or prairies, all lying far below. Here on the mountain, the first morning candle burns away the darkness, but the mountain is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it begins in the treetops, where the birds first notice the soft light and begin to sing to each in their own way, in their own melody, waking the sleepy world around them while the first breeze shivers the smallest leaves. But the treetop is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it begins in the marsh, where drowsy ducks shake their heads and fluff their feathers and test their wings for the day's first flight and speak in soft murmuring tones about things that ducks know, while the muskrat glides silently through the cattails. But the marsh is not where sunrise begins. Some say it begins on the lake, where fish rise and dimple the smooth, glassy surface, where the water rises and falls as if breathing and chuckles in the hollow places where the rocky shore is, and someone on the dock plops in the first bobber of the day. But the lake is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it starts upon the great rolling sea, upon the waters deeper than the highest mountains, on oceans that unfold and encircle all the earth and make life itself possible, where ships have long sailed into the great unknown, and where travelers know the ancient saying, red skies at morning, sailors take warning. But the sea is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it begins in Africa, where life first rose and walked on two legs and spoke its own name, where the bones of a being who lived 1,000,000,000 sunrises ago wait for the sun and for someone to find them and learn their ancient story. But Africa is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it begins in the Far East, the land of the rising sun, where people have long greeted the day with prayer and meditation and the sound of a gong, where the sky blooms with the first light and the bonsai trees cradle the sun upon tiny branches. But the Far East is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it begins in the Middle East, where the light of many great religions first shone, where Abraham and Moses and Mohammed and Jesus listened for a still small voice, a voice that people argue over yet today in a land called holy. But the Middle East is not where the sunrise begins. Some say it begins in our own native land, wherever that is, where the first light falls upon scenes that are known and loved, where people speak a familiar language and act in familiar ways, in ways that make the rest of the world seem maybe a bit strange and far away. But our native land is not where the sunrise begins. Then where does the sunrise begin? Because the world is always turning toward morning. At every moment, this brings the sunrise to someone, somewhere in the world. Wherever there is a heart that loves possibility, that holds a place for hope, that feels gratitude for each day, in that heart, the sun is always rising and helping to fill the world with joy. Where does the sunrise begin? It begins in you.
Each week, our congregation takes a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and gives it away to a social justice cause outside our church walls. This month, we are supporting the good work of the Pride Center of Western New York. The Pride Center works with our community to make Western New York a safe, healthy, and satisfying place for LGBTQ people to live, work, and establish their families. You can use PayPal by going to our website, www.buffalouu.org, and click on the blue donate button, or you can send a check by mail to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, 695 Elmwood Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14222. You can also arrange a regular automatic deposit with your bank. If yours is a gift to our Share the Plate ministry, please write SHARE on the memo line, and it will be shared between the Pride Center of Western New York and the church operating budget. If yours is a welcome gift to our congregation, please write Pledge 2021 on the memo line. Either way, please write UUCB on the important line, and we will do the bookkeeping. Your generosity keeps the transformative power of love alive in the world. Thank you.
faded light, oh magic hour of delight, heart against rapture beating. Down through the branches the morning's greeting, sighing of lovers warm and sweet, whisper falls in the night. Hushed is the world, faded the light, oh magic hour of delight, heart against rapture beating. Down through the branches the morning's greeting, sighing of lovers warmless meeting, whisper falls in the night. Hushed is the world, faded the light, oh magic hour of delight, heart against rapture beating.
Our second reading is from Free Play by Stephen Nachmanovich. There's an old Sanskrit word, lila, which means play. Richer than our word, it means divine play, the play of creation, destruction and recreation, the folding and unfolding of the cosmos. Lila, free and deep, is both the delight and enjoyment of this moment and the play of God. It also means love. Lila may be the simplest thing there is, spontaneous, childish, disarming. But as we grow and experience the complexities of life, it may also be the most difficult and hard-won achievement imaginable. And its coming to fruition is a kind of homecoming to our true selves.
Let's join our hearts and minds in a quiet moment of prayer, meditation, and reflection. Dear transformative power of love, the love that dances through mountain strength, undulates through rivers, taps delicate blue eggshells into life, and pulses through our own gentle, always breaking, always healing hearts. Dear transformative power of love, especially on this Sunday of Pride, we thank the trailblazers, moving and shaking people's souls and minds towards justice, showing us how to destroy fear and hatred and how to create a better world. We lift up the truth tellers who spoke in clear demands and also in rainbows, parades, glitter, wigs, wings, and revolutionary play. Stir in us that same creativity shown by those who helped pave the way. May we never stop expanding the borders of love and acceptance for queer, brown, black, and all bodies. Today, we especially hold in our hearts Paulette Nataro, who is recovering well from a medical procedure, and Ryan Knowles and his family. Ryan's grandfather passed away last week. And now let us open our worship space, our space of memory, caring, and hope. Let us open our worship space to all the names of our loved ones, suffering in sorrow and celebrating in joy. Each name a breath, each breath a prayer. The breath of nature is upon us. The spirit of life is within us. The community of love is among us. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen. So this has been a super hard year. On top of all the usual pain in the what's it stuff of everyday mishaps, mistakes, misunderstandings, strained relationships, snapping, and unexpected catastrophes. There was that pandemic. Mm. And the unprecedented, and when I say unprecedented, I mean it, insurrection in Washington, and the good but very real stress of an entire nation finally coming to terms with its white supremacy problem. And oh, the recession and unemployment and lockdowns and fear, real fear for body, mind, and spirit. And then there was this week when, for safety's sake, the Pride Parade has been canceled. Grr. If you're feeling a little grumpy with the world, I'll tell you, I'm not surprised. Not surprised in the least. Well, I've discovered something. I've discovered something I want to share with you. I've discovered something that gets me through some of those really awful moments when you just want to stick your head under a pillow and pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist. I've discovered that my cell phone tells jokes, really funny, simple, clean jokes. Siri is a stitch. Just listen to this. See if we can't get her to tell us one. Siri, tell me a joke.
I'm taking these cookies to the doctor. They feel crummy.
Get it? The cookies feel crummy. They need to go to the doctor. Anyway, I'll be bumbling along during my day, grinding through stuff, being astonished at how grim things can get, and suddenly remember that my phone can tell me a joke, and a little laughter breaks in and changes everything, especially my attitude. Let's go big picture, like really big picture. When Hindus speak of the creation of the universe, they don't call that creation God's work. They call it God's play. And they call that divine play lila. Hindus look upon the whole manifestation of the universe as frolic, as a kind of dance, amusement, laughter bubbling up into a new reality at every moment. The kind of playful creation in which the earth and all her children break forth in song, the sky and its creatures reply in chorus, the sea and all that is within it sound out praises, the storms raise their voices, the rivers clap their hands, and the mountains echo a verse from their rocky peaks. This is divine play, lila, reminding us that no matter how bad it gets, no matter how grim the day feels, the earth delights in the feel of your bare feet in the grass, and the wind relishes toying with your hair. Now, that Sanskrit word, lila, is a much richer meaning than our English definition for the word play. Divine play is the play not only of creation and make believe, but also of destruction and recreation. The folding and unfolding of the cosmos. Nothing as simple as the linear passage of the sunrise to sunset in the sky, or the journey from even birth to death. This kind of play is a cosmic joke that engages beginning and end and middle all at the same time. Cycles of destruction and recreation surprising us at every turn with a new punchline and a new step to the dance. Lila, free and deep in the delight and enjoyment of this moment and the moment many lifetimes from now. And lila, this cosmic form of divine play, also means love. It's Pride Month, and the rainbows are flying. A celebration of that divine play, which is also called love. There may be no parade through Buffalo this year, but the celebration will still go on. Pride, gratitude for the spirits who were trailblazers, moving and shaking people's souls and minds towards justice. Pride, lifting up those who destroy fear, hatred, and oppression, those who tear down stereotypes and anti sodomy laws with their bold truth telling and persistent demands for change. Pride that names the beloved dead, the neglected, the murdered, the disappeared. Pride, strutting and undulating, cavorting its revolutionary joy, transforming the world into one in which all are free. Pride that celebrates the creators who paved the way and every day expand the borders of love and acceptance for queer, brown, black, and all bodies. What is pride but lila, divine play, the destruction and rebirth, folding and unfolding of the universe, joyful transformation? Lila may be the simplest thing there is, spontaneous, childish, disarming. But as we grow and experience the complexities of life, it also may be the most difficult and hard won achievement imaginable. Learning how to play well is a kind of homecoming to our true selves. If pride means only a parade to you, a party, look deeper. You'll see people marching, walking, wheeling, partying, shimmying, and jiggling. Block upon block of color, flash, banners, signs, clothing or lack of clothing, motorcycles, trucks, bikes, balloons, singing, throwing goodies, wearing wings, hands raised, linked, apart, together, kissing, shouting, whispering, chanting, silent, jubilant, tearful, nervous, afraid, proud, defiant, angry, happy, delirious, tentative, ecstatic, courageous, brave, spontaneous, free. All of this is lila, part of the great cosmic dance of continuing creation. Now, pride didn't come about easily. It came about when the marginalized of the marginalized, drag queens, transvestites, transgender, non binary, in their tired rage, rose up, fought back, destroyed the status quo, and held the police captive in the very bars the police had come to raid. The marginalized of the marginalized, their sacred weapons, their own oppression, their bare hands, broken beer bottles, Stonewall, and 6 days of rioting in New York City that changed everything. Finally, finally, laughter could break through, out, loud, and proud. Yeah, it's good trouble. Lila, divine play, may be the simplest thing there is. Spontaneous, childish, disarming. At first glance, a parade may just be a parade. But as we grow and experience the complexities of life, our participation in divine play may also be the most difficult and hard-won achievement imaginable. Learning how to play well is a kind of homecoming to our true selves. You, whoever you are precious. Your loving is a miracle. Every moment brings the sunrise to someone somewhere in the world. Wherever there is a heart that loves possibility, that holds a place for hope, and feels gratitude for each new day, in that heart, it is always rising. The sun is always rising and helping to fill the world with joy. The divinely playful message of pride is that the sunrise begins with you. Let's join in singing. 'Tis a gift to be simple.
Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, to be in the valley of love and delight, when true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, and by turning we come round right.
Please join me in reciting the words that we use as we extinguish our chalices. As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love.
May you bring happiness into another's life. May you be delighted by the gifts that surround you. May you be enlightened and empowered and energized by joy. And may you thrill in creation, disruption, and creation again, the never-ending dance of divine play. Remember, you are blessed. Remember, you are a blessing. And above all else, remember, you are not alone. You are never alone. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen. Happy Pride, everyone.